Welcome to another Talking Heads on Headline. Barry Milnes here alongside Craig Gabriel. Between us, I think we've got more than 60 years of covering this great sport. We're here to talk about Andre Agassi teaming up with Novak Djokovic at the French Open. Obviously a big story coming into the second major of the year. Two very big characters, Craig. Just talk about their characters, the similarities, the differences between Andre and Novak.
They're larger than life, aren't they? The two of them. There's a situation that I was thinking of not long ago, is that at some stage in their career, both had the black hats on. They were the disliked ones. I mean, you had Pete Sampras up against Andre, and Pete could do no wrong. But then, as their careers have developed, you saw both of them move into the white hat range. If you're looking at cowboys and bad cowboys and good cowboys situation, and I think there are so many similarities between them on personalities, on the type of tennis, their situations off court. They've both been through issues personally, and etc. And I think this could be a very good meshing together. It's going to be fascinating to see this thing unfold between the two of them.
Two tremendous groundstroke players, great return games that they have. But when you look back to the very start, I mean, we know the story of Novak as a young lad turning up with all his kit that he packed and everything. He clearly had ambitions to be world number one. But Andre, obviously his dad having the initial influence and teaching him very hard at the sport, and then working at the Bollettieri Academy in Florida. As we now know, he didn't exactly have a liking for the sport in many ways.
He really did rebel. And when you read his book, you really come to appreciate how tough it was for him mentally and physically. So often through his young days and starting and trying to make these breakthroughs, he didn't want to be there because he was being pushed. But I think he started to realize a little bit later that the potential was there. He had the talent. He could do so much good, not just on the court, but use his name for good off the court. And I think that's what we've also started to see in some degree with Djokovic.
Yes, Andre went from enfant terrible to the great sort of the elder statesman of the sport, and a kind of Zen-like knowledge of life as well as tennis, didn't he? The nadir for him really was the late 1990s, when his career nosedived. He had injuries, he had issues off the court, and his ranking went right down outside the top 100. But then he did come back.
140, wasn't 141.
Exactly, and went and played challenges, didn't he? But came back all the way. So coming back to reclaiming the number one and going on to win more slams is presumably what Novak's interest is here.
Yeah, look, no doubt about it. I mean, he's got the career slam. He became the first man since Rod Laver in 1969 to hold all four of the majors at the one time last year when he won the French Open, Roland-Garros, and how emotional that was. But he has gone off the tracks just a little bit, and this is where I think Andre is going to be such an incredible positive for Novak, getting him back on the straight and narrow. And you win one French Open, you don't want to stop at one, and let's see if he can do it.
We are in the era of super coaches. Yeah. And, of course, another person who left the sport having been a fantastic player and achieved so much was Ivan Lendl, who then didn't coach anybody else, but then came back, of course, and worked with Andy Murray. And look what happened with Andy in the way that he then was able to get over that hurdle of winning a major final for the first time. And, of course, now has become a multiple major champion. For Novak, he'd already won some, but then he got a bit stuck in trying to win those finals. And Boris Becker came in, and that clearly worked for him. So it's more, isn't it, of that kind of role of somebody who's done it at that highest level, as opposed to forehands and backhands.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, there was a point that I was thinking that, when Novak and parted company with his team, I'm thinking isn't this coming back to a workman always blames his tools? But then I also thought on the other angle of this is that you need an element of freshness. You need, to use the term clean out is a bit tough, but a change. A change is as good as a holiday, as they say. And I think this is what could be the big benefit. And even Boris has tweeted that this is a good link up between Andre and Novak.
It sounds like it. Everybody seems to be thinking it could well work, and we look forward to seeing it do so.